Hello guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different. So instead of my usual video where I'll go over an item, what it does and how it works, we're just going to be doing a complete teardown of this Sony stereo here. And then I'm going to go over the parts that I salvaged from it and what we can do with those parts. So you'll see here in a second, I actually couldn't get some of the screws out, so I did have to hit it with a hammer, but I didn't damage anything important. It doesn't really matter because the cosmetics of this thing are going right in the trash anyways. Alright, after I tear down, we've acquired a substantial amount of material here. First up, and most obviously from the radio CD player, we got these two speaker cones right here, and they are 2.5 watts and 3.5 or 3.2 ohms. And they're Sony drivers, so they should be pretty good. Maybe I'll use those in a future project. Next up, we got these two potentiometer knobs right here. I always try to keep these. I get a lot of potentiometers and not a lot of knobs, so I keep every one I get. These are probably non-functional. I should have tested them before I disassembled the radio. I didn't test these before I disassembled it. So this is the tape deck, and this is the CD player. I don't know, maybe we'll make a part 2, but I'm not gonna tear this down any further in this video because that just take way too long. Inside here we have two motors, a laser diode, some other gizmos and gadgets in here. There might be, yeah, I think this is a limit switch in here. So we'll get to that at some point, probably in part 2 if I make a part 2. Comment down below if you think I should do a part 2 to this video. On the tape player here, we have the tape read-write head. I'll keep that, of course. We have this single motor here, some gears on the back, which we'll keep those. And I believe this is a limit switch as well. I'm not 100% sure what this is. A transformer attached to a control board with a full bridge rectifier here, a fuse, and a female connector for power. And we'll definitely disassemble this. Next up, we got this board. I probably said this already, but I couldn't get the radio open, so I did resort to brute force, you could say. I actually didn't damage much of anything. I only damaged this one circuit board, and I didn't damage this screen at all, surprisingly. So what we're gonna do is we're going to detach this screen right here, maybe these two buttons, and definitely this button right here. And next up, this is the almost main motherboard of the whole system. It's got the radio antenna right here. We've got some pretty beefy capacitors for what it is. Some potentiometers, which go with those knobs over there. This weird switch, and this headphone jack, or aux jack, more like. Oh, and the radio tuner, don't forget that, and some more potentiometers too under here. These ones are more internal to these ones, which are external potentiometers. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good stuff on this board, and we will definitely take some of these components off of here. Not all of them. A lot of these little capacitors are not really worth salvaging. And then we've got a handful of cables over here that I cut off. This one has a board attached, and this is literally just a switch. An antenna, I might have mentioned that already, and a bunch of screws, this magnet, and this magnet's actually to a speaker driver, and I just use it to hold all of my screws. So we've got a pretty handful of screws. We'll put these with the rest of my electronic screws in here. And you know what, while I'm at it, I think I will put this fuse in here as well from this board. I think we are going to call it here, and make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.